You feel it before you decide anything. The phone buzzes. Your thumb is already moving. Not because you chose to check it, because some older, faster part of you moved first. You know the snooze button is a lie. You hit it anyway. You know the scroll isn't going anywhere. You keep scrolling. You know the second cigarette, the extra drink, the late-night snack you didn't even want. You know all of it. And still, your hand reaches. This is the part nobody tells you. Your brain isn't broken when it does this. It's working exactly as designed. Somewhere underneath the version of you that makes plans and sets goals and swears, "Tomorrow I'll start," there's an older system. It doesn't care about tomorrow. It doesn't understand consequences. It only understands one thing. Did that feel good? And can we do it again? Right now. That system is ancient. It kept your ancestors alive. It made sure they didn't skip the fire, didn't skip the food, didn't skip the moment of safety in a world that offered almost none. Back then, more of what feels good was the smart bet. Every time. Nobody rewired it for a world with slot machines shaped like phones, sugar in everything, and a screen in every pocket promising the next hit of relief. So the habit isn't a failure of willpower. It's a survival machine, still running the only program it's ever known. In a world that no longer matches it. Which raises the real question. If this system is thousands of years old and stronger than the part of you that knows better, what exactly is it you're fighting when you try to quit? The mechanism has a name. The brain runs on prediction and reward, not logic. Every habit loop follows the same three-step circuit: cue, routine, reward. A trigger fires, you perform the action, you get a hit of dopamine. But here's the part most people get backward. Dopamine isn't the reward itself. It's the anticipation. The wanting, not the having. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz, working at Cambridge, found this by accident decades ago, studying monkeys and juice rewards. The dopamine spike didn't happen when the monkey got the juice. It happened the moment the monkey saw the cue that predicted juice was coming. The brain had learned to crave the signal, not the substance. That single finding rewired how addiction itself is understood. It isn't about the drink, or the phone, or the food. It's about what your brain has learned to expect the second it sees the trigger. Habits move fast because they're cheap. Once a behavior loop is grooved in deep enough, it shifts out of the effortful, conscious part of your brain and into the basal ganglia, a region that runs on autopilot, using almost no mental energy at all. That's the trap. The less you have to think about a habit, the harder it becomes to stop, because you've stopped noticing you're even doing it. Psychologist Wendy Wood at the University of Southern California has spent years studying exactly this. Her research suggests something uncomfortable. Somewhere around 40% of daily behavior isn't decided in the moment at all. It's automatic. Running on cue, not choice. Which means a huge portion of what you call your personality might actually just be repetition. Your brain stopped questioning a long time ago, and it isn't uniform across every mind. Studies on populations under chronic stress or scarcity, from famine survivors to communities in prolonged economic hardship, show something striking. The brain's reward system gets even more sensitive to immediate gratification, not less. When the future feels uncertain, the ancient system doesn't calm down. It gets louder. It grabs the guaranteed good feeling now, because later has never been reliable. So the habit loop isn't a personal weakness showing up at random. It's a precise, ancient survival algorithm: cue, routine, reward, running exactly on schedule. The only variable is what world it's running in. Picture a woman in her 30s, alone in her kitchen at 11 p.m. She isn't hungry. She knows this. Her hand is already in the cabinet before the thought fully forms. The overhead light hums. The refrigerator door clicks shut behind her, a small metallic punctuation to a day she can't quite name the shape of. Just tired, just wound tight, just wanting something to feel different for 4 seconds. She eats, standing up, fast, barely tasting it. And the second it's gone, something in her chest loosens. Not satisfaction. Relief. The specific relief of a system that just got what it came for. She'll tell you later she doesn't know why she does it, but her brain knows exactly why. The stress rose. The cue fired. The routine ran. The reward landed. All before her conscious mind clocked in for the meeting. Zoom out, and you find this same loop, dressed differently, in every era humans have kept records of. In ancient Rome, physicians documented compulsive gambling among soldiers returning from campaign, men who had spent months in states of hypervigilance, unable to stop chasing the dice once home, even as it ruined them financially. The behavior wasn't understood then, but the mechanism was already the same one running in that kitchen 2,000 years later. In 19th century industrial England, factory workers were given regulated tea and sugar breaks, specifically because employers noticed something. A small, reliable hit of stimulation and sweetness kept exhausted bodies productive through impossibly long shifts. The habit was engineered into the workday because it worked, because the brain will trade long-term health for short-term relief every time, if the short-term relief is dependable enough. And in modern hunter-gatherer societies still studied today, groups like the Hadza in Tanzania, researchers have observed a craving for concentrated sugar and fat so strong that when honey is found, it's consumed immediately in quantities that would seem irrational by modern nutritional logic. Except it isn't irrational. It's the same ancient bet. Take the guaranteed reward now, because scarcity taught you tomorrow isn't promised. 3 eras, 3 continents, same circuit over and over, an unbroken thread from Roman soldiers to factory floors to honeycomb in the African bush. The turning point came fast and recently. For most of human history, the things that triggered this reward loop were rare and effortful. You had to find the honey, ferment the drink, hunt the meal. The loop fired occasionally, and mostly in your favor. Then came refinement. Sugar extracted from cane. Nicotine concentrated into a stick. Dopamine engineered into an app, refreshed infinitely, for free, in your pocket, at 2 a.m. The cue that used to require a forest now requires a notification sound. The ancient circuit didn't change. Its triggers just multiplied by 1,000 and moved in next door. Here's the irony sitting underneath all of it. The system that once kept you alive is now the thing you have to manage like a liability. Evolution built you a brain exquisitely tuned to chase reward in a world of scarcity. And then, in the span of a few generations, handed that same brain a world of infinite abundance. Nobody updated the wiring. The environment changed. The wiring didn't. And here's the mic drop fact. Researchers studying digital behavior have found that the average person checks their phone somewhere north of 90 times a day. Not because 90 things happened, but because the anticipation loop fires whether or not there's anything waiting. The dopamine hits before the unlock screen even loads. You're not checking for information anymore. You're checking because checking is the habit, and the habit doesn't need a reason. So maybe the bad habit was never really about the phone, or the food, or the drink at all. Maybe it was always about a very old, very loyal part of you. One still standing guard, still watching for the fire, still grabbing whatever feels like safety the second it appears. It isn't broken. It's ancient. It's just fighting a war that ended a long time ago, using the only weapon it's ever been issued. Remember that hand, reaching for the phone before you'd even decided to move? That's not weakness reaching. That's 10,000 years of survival, still on duty, still doing its job, just in the wrong century. If you've ever caught yourself mid-habit and thought, wait, why did I just do that? You're exactly the kind of person this channel is built for, people who don't just live on autopilot, but actually want to know what's flying the plane. If that's you, the subscribe button costs nothing, and it's the one signal that tells the algorithm to keep sending you more of this. No pressure, just Stick around. There's more wiring left to uncover.